Hey everyone, happy Thursday, welcome to the stream, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, who is ready to finally finish the case and potentially finish the game. I am still not sure if we're actually going to finish it tonight or not. There are some inconsistencies, to say the least, on some of the guides I was cruising. So I guess we'll see, really. What's the better way to find out, am I right? But yeah, back into the court, where things have definitely happened last time. After our final field investigation. And oh boy, I think Emma might be in trouble. I think we might have revealed some unfortunate truths about SL9 while trying to take care of the current case and the murder of Detective Goodman. So yeah, who knows how that's going to turn out. Hope everyone's ready. Right, I feel like the game is a little quiet in my ears, so give me a second. I turn it up a tiny smidge. And we shall carry on. Wherever the heck we've stopped. Final day. Trial ladder. Shall we then? Again, this one is probably gonna be on the longer side. I think we have like 2 more hearings left in this whole thing, so yeah. Fingers crossed we can make it out alive without too many fuck-ups. Here we go! February 25th. 12:06, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals! Okay, just a little bit. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Did I load in the correct thing? I'm not sure. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? I'm feeling a sense of deja vu. You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. On top of it, off, you call me... On top... And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I feel like we didn't load in the correct thing. Hey, Yesh, welcome. How are you holding up? I take it Lana having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Okay, it is the correct one. Here, she asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. That is adorable. Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really. I guess we will. Thanks, Gumshoe. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message. She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Him? I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. From this guy explains the 2 rules of evidence law. Okay. It doesn't look like the book will do any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me? Mr. Edgeworth. The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused the man's death. And now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal! You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Hell yeah. Good, I think? Well, good is good, but I hope it's actually good, not just think part. Courtroom number 9, let's go. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses? I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well, the defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. The, defense may now call for the next witness. Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. Oh shit. The defense calls, do we want to save already? Wow. Way to put it all on the line, game. You're making me quite nervous already, and we've just begun. Call for a save, yes. The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. Well, it has to be Gant, right? This guy, not guilty. This guy, well, he's out of the picture for now. And probably for good. Dead, though it would be humorous if we called him. Gumshoe? I wish. Lana? Well, no. Emma? We've already talked. Her also talked. Gant it is? He's about to get what's coming to him, finally. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. See, George, stand. Leo. See, it's all coming together. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this? Some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Alrighto, what's with the grim face? First, let's clear up the SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. Could be a bit of both. You're aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Literally. Weapons. Sure, take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Doesn't make it any suspicious at all. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well. The witness may now begin his testimony. And then we're going to read the book that was passed on to us so graciously. SL9 incident. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up, and that power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Dark was arrested? Him? He was laying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I think he bumped his back, actually, into the thing. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. Yeah, hold on a sec, would you? Yeah. Shut your yap for a sec. I gotta do something real quick. Excuse me. I gotta read this. Everyone, hold on. Rules for submitting evidence. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is he going to start sticking sticks in our wheels because of this rule, I wonder? Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. So, this must be in regards to the stuff that we found in his safe, right? And that's it? That's the whole book? Good. But I would assume that we'll be able to use this against him when he starts being all weird about it. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. Was the defendant Lana Sky also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. To make a long story short, we slipped up. The power outage didn't help either. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky. What's this about a power outage? Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, Probably not as shocking as Neil was when that knife went into his heart, though. That's not funny. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. So, again, things are not lining up already with what you just showed us in the previous slide. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Okay. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body, it had already been moved. So that means... you found the body near Lana's desk. That's right. I think you said earlier. It was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway, as you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt, but moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you'd better off staring at the court record. Worthy, always the smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties Kent to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. Okay, so what could it possibly be? That being said... Let's see, let's look at this one more again, I guess. Die from blood loss in under 10 minutes. Weapon found in wound was missing. Tip. Well, we figured out that that part was already fabricated, didn't we? The missing tip, at the very least. I'm not sure this is going to help us here in any way. This... probably not anymore. Look at this again. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. What could it possibly be? That's a loss of blood. That's the other autopsy. Do we even care for this knife anymore, I wonder? Considering we already figured out that that's not the one. We don't need this anymore, I don't think. Stabbed in the back, died from punctured heart and lung. Knife tip was in the wound. Also, something I did notice, when we were at the office, the tip of this thing was fine and dandy. Just to put it out there. Oh, hey, Kameda. How are you holding up? Again, no spoilies, please. We're trying to figure it out on our own. Unless I ask for it explicitly, then we start, you know, talking tips. I think we're going to save here, actually. One more again. Yes. As I recall, you're questioning him that day. To make a long story short, I slipped up. The power outage didn't help either. I feel like it might be somewhere between these two, three. I wanna look at this again. The two of you ran immediately after him. Don't wait into the elevator first. Upstairs and on downstairs. Power outage. I got this shock of the life. Not funny. Okay, so not that. Could you tell us what you saw? Collapsed laying on the floor. The poor girls. Arrange the crime scene? Quotation marks. Game, hello? You know that because the victim's body had already been moved. Does it have to be the picture that they took in the office? I wonder. See anything? Sorry, this won't change anything. Going to stir at anything? You'd better off stirring at the court record. And I did admit to forging evidence. But that can be the whole truth. Or it could be the knife? You know, the whole forgery bit. So it might be either one of those, I feel like. Should we bring this knife up with the whole forgery thing? I wonder. But again, I feel like photo might also be useful in there somewhere. Let's see. We saved. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I follow. It clearly contradicts... No, it doesn't. Objection overruled. It's fine, it's fine. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Blah, blah, blah. Rearranged the crime scene when I went to the office and found Lamb there. To make a long story short, we slipped up the power was out. Mel and I were questioning him that day. How was she there already, by the way? At which point did she get there? Let's see. I do want to bring up the photo. It's probably not it, but let's try. Nope. Nope. Hey, I tried. Can I say theory real quick? Sure. Let's hear the theory. And we're also going to load in. Because we'll be in the court all day today, and yeah, I don't want to waste health too much. Okay. Now let's look at this one more again. Ceremony was held at police department that day. That's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. So wait. They went from here into the questioning room and back here again? If the ceremony was in his office? Yeah, I was fired up. That's probably was spook dark. And they made him run away. Was the defendant Lana Sky also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran forward. The whole Lana angle, I feel like a bit sussy here. You know what? I'm going to bring up the picture here. Yeah.
Objection!
The music didn't stop. It's not it. It's okay. We can afford a fuck-up. At least once. I think it may be the jar or cloth since we found those locked up in the safe. Yeah, I was thinking about those as well, but I'm not sure on where to pin them. On which part of this yet. I was there. Could that mean... I guess we can kind of pin them to this, since he was holding on to those both pieces of evidence. Let's try this.
Objection!
I think we might have gotten it. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that this is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Actually, two. A couple, not several. Phoenix. Take this jar, for example. That's a blue badger you showed us earlier. A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. We're having ads? Okay, we'll wait a little bit. Those of you who are not in ads, why don't you have a hydration check, posture check, food check, meds check, all of that stuff. Maybe do a stretch, do a favor to your own bodies, do those things. How's everyone's week so far? All good? Hopefully. How's the end of November treating everyone? It's been raining here for what seems like ever. Had to go out today and was caught in the rain. It was not very nice. And it was also dark. The early evenings are really having an effect on me, being all EP and the like. Hopeful? Okay, hopeful is good. And back? Okay, let's carry on. Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you are involved in the forgery? Oh, me? Oh, or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, righto? I'm going to rub that book in your face, Chief. However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. Don't tell me you'll cut his salary even more. What? What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yep. Exactly my thoughts. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place in the crime scene. Second that, what? Oh my god. Wow, Twitch is rather cruel today, huh? What the hell? That should be done by now. Long done. Damn player that needed to reload. Oh, okay. Well, tell me if you missed anything. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put 2 and 2 together. Okay, round 2. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment. And the list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There is no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. Alright, Aji. In return, though. I know. That place, right? Huh? Are these guys telepathic? Evidence and forgery. Let's go. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Yes, and locked the safe with your pass. Correct? I'd appreciate if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped... Mr. Wright, what are you saying? Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof of the contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Righto's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. I've never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I didn't place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery... I'm not through speaking yet, righto. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list, or was it? We only had half of it back then, didn't we? For all we knew, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right. The chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Come now, Righto, think about it. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Doubt. Well, now do you see? We'll see what we see by the end of this. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Really, Chief Gant. At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would of course be the position you have. Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. He's right, you know. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? Yeah? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of this online merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway. Gah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There were only 3 people I looked out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it out in the open now. Aji, would you mind if I changed my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. See, you say it now. Nothing in it for you. Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people, that's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Well, it was because of him that Lana got promoted, and now he's puppeteering her. And the accomplice? True, you might not help out anyone for their sake. But if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I meant. Very well then. Who is the person you believe Chief Gant might help to forge evidence? I can't save that by so quickly. Well, I would say her, because again, what I've just mentioned. With her being slapped around as he pleased since then, and her becoming very cold towards pretty much everyone. He was more or less independent independent until he got narked. So it's either one of them. Let's go Lana, I guess. Yellow. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. The defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all of this? He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. My words exactly. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Dun dun dun! Oh wait, you must mean puppet as in some forced to do his bidding, not literally. Admit it, Chief. You assigned Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive, to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana... She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless, that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about... the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the chief is now making Lana take the rep to cover up his involvement. What? Judge, as incompetent as ever. Order! 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 I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest-ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That is impossible! Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier-to-understand language. Except, I personally meant it. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There is no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in the murder? Well, if you didn't let me save the other time, I'm going to save it now. You can't stop me until you trap me in the menu. Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright got. It better be good. Shows the evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. Well... he made Edgeworth move the screwdriver for some mysterious reason. So it could be it. On that specific day. Right before the murder, just to put his name on the list. To, you know, derive the attention from himself. That would be my guess. At the very least. Let's try the driver, maybe? Well, Chief. So long as Ryder here is tossing out things regardless of their relevance, mind if I toss something too, Udgy? The shoe should do nicely. I'll check it right at you. You always were quite the joker, weren't you? Oops. Looks like I got it wrong. Don't oops me. Maybe this boot to the head will knock some sense into you. I know it's hard with all that's gone on during this trial. But try to think back to what happened in the evidence room 4 days ago. See? It's connected. Now that he mentions it, we did find something during yesterday's investigation. Something that proves Gant entered that room. Looks like he wants another one of your boots, G. It's the list of passes, isn't it? I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright got. And it better be good. Shows the evidence that ties Chief Goodman to the thing. Well, we found out that his passcode is, you know, the number of his ID card. And that's what we found out that is tied directly to him. So... this is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 777-7777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777-7777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. You did a murder. Order! Order! And that murder then went to the other place. Moved by somebody we know, perhaps? Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Need a moment. Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. Objection! You hadn't seen him in days. Chief Gant, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. Objection! No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us the proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Well, he was murdered, for starters. Show us the proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Well, he didn't have his card, and he needed assistance to go into the room. Right? So himself and Gant conveniently went together, so somebody would open the door for him, right? That would be my guess. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. To be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. Well, half-filled. He would have had to give that report to the Chief of Police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman. Yep, exactly. But wait, the Chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID. Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Objection! Get him, Edgeworth. Sorry, but that's impossible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. No! That's a good frame right there. Chief Gant! You didn't... The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in the right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office's parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of the police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you, take this here dead body over to prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was a useless clue, just taking up space. I feel like they're kind of prompting me to save again. Because I think I need to look at the evidence list again to be sure which one he's referring to. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. A portal. Well, there was a memo of the thing needing to be transferred. What haven't we used that yet? I'm just trying to remember which ones we've used and which ones we haven't. Used. Sort of used. Not really, but we did determine that it was Emma who was related to the whole thing. No. Pretty much used all of this. Have we used the phone? I don't remember. It was so long ago. Used. Is it really the screwdriver? Scene of the stabbing of a detective at the PD. That's the floor plans, isn't it? Yeah. Used. Has to be the screwdriver, like, right? The badger would be absurd. Probably. It's literally the only thing that we haven't used just yet, I don't think. Minus the stuff that we were just given to us. Pretty sure we used everything. Let's try the screwdriver, I guess. Here goes nothing. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. What's that? A screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is the screwdriver doing here? It's here because... I was asked to go, by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbing, I brought this back here. What a tricksy little Gant, huh? After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean Yep, you were the hearse. The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Yep. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes, unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There is only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. Think of this photograph! This was not a photo. Game, are you okay? What the spell there? Grammar, I don't know. Structure of the sentence. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It's a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe... Your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time after the early bird special. Objection! Oh no. Little Chiefy getting hungry. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons. Like the right to refuse to testify, I'm invoking that right now.
What? This is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show us your proof and move it over with.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of the police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof.
Hold up. Hold up, hold up. Hold the phone. The saves are calling. I feel an urge to save.
Well, Mr. Wright?
Can we give him a fist sandwich? We can try calling Miss Star over here and, you know, see what she has in stock.
Your Honor? Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body.
Do I have any concrete proof? Well, we saved. I guess we can bluff. I can't let him just squirm his way out of this. I've got to keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor, I do have such evidence.
Then please hurry up and present it. Just remember, it better prove Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of a doubt.
I don't think we found his fingerprints on anything. That being said. But maybe we can, Well, we do have his, like, the sample of his prints. Without a shadow of a doubt, you say. So the evidence in the SL9 incident, half of this list was found at Gant's desk. Evidence for something, but what? Could it be this?
So, what exactly is this evidence?
Oh, it's proof. As to whether or not it's enough to demonstrate the chief's guilt. I'll let you be the judge.
But I am the judge!
Oh, right. Well, what do you think, Your Honor?
What I think, Mr. Wright, is that I'm going to be late for lunch.
What, you're going to lunch too? I guess it wasn't enough. Please, Your Honor, give me just a little longer to consider.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of the police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor?
Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body.
Do I have any concrete proof? What if I say no? Not yet. Edgy's knife? I don't think so. Because Lana was made to stab the already dead guy with that knife. You know what? We did save, so for shits and giggles, I have no proof. It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence.
CRG? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the Chief.
What? Here's a tip, never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, IG, I'll leave the rest to you. Peace.
I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency.
Wah! Lady Luck, maybe we should have a word with her.
Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean?
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person?
Huh. Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today.
Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist?
She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth Miss Lana Skye, I would presume.
The defendant? Miss Lana Skye?
She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task, to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Edgeworth?
The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor.
Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in Hold on. Who might you be?
Chief Gad, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana.
He's talking to Lana.
I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. And now we're blackmailing again, huh? That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. This isn't good. Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then. I've got a lunch date to meet.
Peace.
Keeps teleporting in and out. I guess Chief of Police has that kind of power.
Okay. If there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess.
Yeah. February 25th, 2:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth.
That chief is something else, eh, pals?
Detective Gumshoe.
I'm not a detective anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. But hey, he couldn't turn in his ID because we crushed it instead of giving it back to him. So, you know, one less heartache, I don't know, points of damage taken.
Don't worry, I've already decided where to work now. At your office!
My office?
Sure! I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with.
Could he mean Maya?
Oh, hell yeah. Still, looks like we're out of moves now. Chief Gan's done it again. How is he always gets the upper hand?
It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said.
But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
Risks? What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. Is that Lana? I'm going to assume that's Lana. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Oh, that's Emma. He's back. That's good. Emma, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah. Now I finally know that what really happened. I think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by the terrible man. Well, yeah. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier than that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside to force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. We live in it. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we'd better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. To be continued. So guys, what do you think about Detective Gumshoe being our new sidekick? It's been a long time coming. Finally. Does it mean that Missile becomes our, you know, agency dog by extension? Isn't it against the law to talk like that? Wow. He is above the law. He is the law. The law. February 25th, 2:21 p.m. This record, courtroom number 9. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. And nothing but the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Here we go. Please tell me our health has been restored. Well, it usually does get restored between chapters, so we should be good. I hope we'll remain good. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony, or do we have to poke holes through that one as well? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana!
If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me.
But what if she's telling the truth?
She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony.
Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. I need a drink first, though. Sorry, just give me a sec.
And have you guys been hydrating?
No one is above the law, you just have to have bigger lever? Not sure I follow, but what if you're Judge Dredd? Have you considered that?
I worked alongside Gant for years.
How many years exactly?
Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years.
Damn, girl. Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases.
She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why. There's no truth to the blackmail theory.
But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail.
You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And?
But you said yourself that you stabbed him after the fact. Get your shit together, lady!
I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago, all by myself.
Did you do so to help your sister?
Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want this incident to ruin her life.
But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything.
That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him.
Anna. So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago.
Leverage the weight of argument. Judge Dredd has Dredd on his side? Yeah, well. What was Gant doing to Lana for these 5 years?
Think about that. There's a connection right there.
When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's back.
Doesn't really look like it, though.
What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change the statement. You mean, Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me.
So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes. I broke off the tip of Drake's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body.
How strong is this woman if that's true? I don't buy it. You planted the tip of Drake's knife in the victim's body, and then you moved the body?
But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders.
My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others. Why did you plant the knife? Why did you move the body? I would like to know both things. Actually, maybe if we, circle back on this, we can ask both. Why did you move the body, I think is a pretty good question. I do want to know both, yes. Which one do we start with, everyone?
Question A or question B? Bottom one? Okay, let's start with that one. When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. What did you move it there? The reasons for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body.
Yes, please. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Pieces of the jar? You mean the one with Mia's name on it? Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when we first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened.
But the badger!
Neil Marshall was dead and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle.
Uh-huh. I see.
What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. Yeah, how did he write the name, then, if it was already in pieces? But I have a feeling there is more to it than that.
There must be a contradiction there somewhere. Yeah, what I just said.
Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone.
No, you didn't.
My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. So you rearranged the crime scene? Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying! She didn't, so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying! Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she is bound to slip up and make a contradiction.
She already did.
Now where's that vase part? Although I kinda wanna hear about that second part as well. Do we want to? Because I'm pretty sure we can pin her down with this already. Should we? I don't know if she's going to say anything useful, because I think we've already gotten the useful bit out of her. Just out of curiosity. Why did you plant the knife? But why did you do that? Come now, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure it out.
Very well, let's add this to the witness testimony. The reason Miss Sky fabricated the knife.
I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in the body would be all the proof we needed.
I hope they didn't remove the previous bit.
According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was a murder weapon, right? Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blade away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be by having the tip of the knife found inside the victim's body.
So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound?
Yes, because I hated Dark for what he did. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Well, I feel like we gotta go back to the jar because... Can we still go back to the jar? Yeah, let's do that, I guess. So let's click through this real quick again. Because I'm not sure we can pin anything on this bit. Maybe we can, but I'm not seeing it right now, at the very least. Whilst the jar is quite the contradiction, wouldn't you say? The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. I kinda feel like saving now, though, so give me a sec. Yes. And then we rub it in her face. Jar. Here goes nothing.
Objection!
Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister.
You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered?
If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right.
Do you have a problem with that?
It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. Ads? Oh no! Okay, more ads. Let's wait. Back? Did you miss anything? Or just rub the contradiction in her face, basically. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not have been broken before he died. Ah! He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar! Well, not for the lack of trying, but yes. Order! Order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regards to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical. Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth.
Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony.
Do we have to do both? Oh no, I think we're good. Okay, Here we go, jar and the message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood?
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
And unlike the other court, we can handle the truth? Yes. That's what we're gonna do today. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier.
It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case, oof! But not as feeble as the judge's judgment, ooh!
You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally, I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust.
Well, that helps my case.
Lana, you do that for me?
It seems you two might make up yet.
Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking.
I guess I read it wrong. Oh well. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened.
What do you mean?
If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. But how could you see what they power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. But didn't you say in the previous bit that it was too fucking dark to see anything? Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol whenever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. Except that one that wasn't entirely wiped and in the safe.
That's a bit sus.
All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene. Yes, I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time. It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up.
After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident. No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Is there? I gotta flip through this whole thing again. Immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. It was too dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were so large, I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. But, like, again, that one piece that we found in the safe that wasn't completely wiped. Right? This bit. Do we present the jar again? Here? Maybe? I don't know. I'ma save it. Again. That's the only thing that kind of jumps out at me. Immediately. But I might be wrong. Not like we're, like, low on health or anything, but let's see. Just in case we tremendously fuck up.
Objection!
Huh? Did we get it right? Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of the jar in Chief Gant's safe. There we go. In the chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about this final piece. There was still blood on it.
But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off them.
Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you.
But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
Objection!
I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that?
Nah, you're just senile. Judge. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken.
Oh, that.
There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness.
I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he...
Shattered the jar? I don't know. They should stop doing this. The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide the fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer that?
No! No!
Finally, we got a big no out of Judge after all this time. Everyone had theirs.
Wait, I'm not the one on trial. I'm not the one on trial here.
Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of the evidence.
But why would Chief Gant do that?
In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear?
What happened afterwards?
Discovering the scene, Lana Sky believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Sky became the chief's puppet.
Ouch.
No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client.
I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth.
Excuse me. Wait a minute. What if We're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap.
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright?
Lana, maybe right after all. What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Sky, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Sky, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
All right, the witness may testify once more, for the final time. You better make it good and factual.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor's sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent.
Unbelievable! The body was impaled on the armor's sword.
You are the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning.
Is it the book?
What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it.
Is it that ducky? That's the only picture I saw in there.
I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture.
I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere.
It's going to fall out at this very moment, isn't it? But look at this picture, though. I want to present this in court. Well, now I can look at it in detail. Aww. What a good little Sherlock duck. Look! Zoom and enhance. Hello? Oh, that's not the picture I wanted to look at. Hey, there's a picture here.
Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Crime scene photo from the case 2 years ago.
Taken 2 years ago. Oh.
Mr. Wright! That piece cut out from his vest. Could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe?
With your fingerprints on it, Emma? What's this?
This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whoever's fingerprints those are must be the real murderer.
Well... What? But those fingerprints... They're yours, Emma!
Are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright?
Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination.
So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer.
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Let's go!
Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled... His back, isn't he? How timely! Oh, come now, Aji. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. You eat very fast, sir.
Chief Gant!
What? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense.
Objection!
You shut the fuck up. I'm afraid it's too late for that.
What?
You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Yeah, a little. Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence.
Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence?
No, I don't, but someone does.
Someone?
So, what's your excuse, righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt.
Is that true, Mr. Wright?
If I show that piece of evidence now, I'm sure to be made out as the murderer.
Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now, and if you try to conceal anything, you'll be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries.
What do I do now? I'd better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Well, you know what that calls for. The not making wrong decision save. Right? Although our health bar is full, so I guess we have some leeway. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall. Icon of saving. I mean, I can do it. But maybe there's some kind of a loophole. Let's do it. Yes, Your Honor. I do have further evidence. Alright, the time finally comes to show it to them. Those prints have got to be the chief's.
Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
We can actually show something else, though. Teehee. Let's look at this picture well. Oh, while the piece of his jacket is missing, is there anything else? Anything at all? Because I feel like if we show the picture, they'll go like,
yes, well, what's in this picture is so suspicious.
Can we find the scissors that were used off the Gant's desk to cut that bit off? The best. I feel that it has to be the picture, right? No, I can't. I can't show them that yet. Why not? You know which item to show. Mr. Wright, if you're not sure, then think through it again. How can you use that evidence to your advantage? What do I do now? I'd better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present the piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? You do really want me to show that exact piece? Well, okay. Whatever. Enjoy, I guess.
It's a piece of leather cloth.
Yes, it most likely was cut from the victim's vest near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on that cloth by whoever shoved the victim onto the sword.
What? Whose fingerprints are on this?
I'm sure Righto has checked, haven't you?
Well, whose are they?
They're Miss Sky's. Miss Emma Sky's. What? They're mine! So I really did do it! See, I told you it was conclusive. Objection! But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? Objection! But... give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Miss Sky to Neil Marshall's death. No.
It appears we have our killer.
No. No. Everything hinged on that point. In the end, Lana alone was found guilty on all accounts. On a black background. See, I told you it's not the correct evidence. Hey, stop! Don't save! What do you mean, save? I swear to God, if they saved it on top of this. I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present the piece of evidence? One that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? I guess not. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
What? You lie! Chief Gant, you opened my safe! I know you took what was inside! The conclusive evidence!
Nah. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know those whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture.
That's not how you're supposed to phrase that!
See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been...
It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason.
You mean you had this in your safe?
What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence! This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of police department!
Good job, Gant. Impressive! To be honest, I didn't think you had the gal, righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened.
What? You mean you admitted to it?
I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use this station to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her? I knew Lana. if I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid? Okay. So you assisted Miss Sky. Again, a bit strange phrasing, but whatever. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. It was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence. You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on the jar too? Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept 1 more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Rido, cough it up already. I know you have it. No! What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all, but it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, righto. You should have shown it when, then, before it was too late. Yeah, but we know the outcome. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Save again. Save again! I refuse to show the evidence! Till the end of the days! What then? We gotta see all the fail states. No, it's too late to show the evidence now. Besides, even if I did, it just exposed that poor girl's fingerprints. Right. Think hard over the circumstances. The circumstances? I'm talking about then and now. There's one major difference between the two. Aren't you waiting for that difference? I guess so. Ow! Fuck you at your words! I take moral damage. Ouch! Psychic, rather. Mr. Wright, this is your only chance. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Do we show it now? Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes, at least you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather... There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean? It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Oh, You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Righto had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already knew? You knew whose fingerprints are on it. Mr. Wright, do you really know?
Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Objection! Objection! Whose fingerprints are they?
Very well, I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything proceeding as predicted. The person who these fingerprints belong to is...
Emma Sky!
What? They're mine! I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me?
You're really something, Righto.
You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me.
So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death.
How could you? You monster!
Miss Sky!
You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet.
Ha! But I'm afraid it's over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposefully concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. I would like to see you try. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer. Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you asked? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, you tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Is it the evidence law? No evidence shall be shown without the approval of police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. What could it possibly be? I'm actually not sure. I'll be honest with you. Let's just scroll through everything, huh? Is it the fingerprint thingy? Can I look at the thing again? Please? Maybe I'll notice something I missed last time. Check. It's not ticked anymore? This is a handprint, right? Yeah, someone left behind an oil stain on the fabric. Whoever it was, they must have had a real oily hand. That's right. Think about it scientifically. Huh? A more likely explanation is
person slipped and fell on a freshly waxed floor, getting wax all over their hand.
Well, that would account for this amount of oil, I guess. I don't see what's so scientific about it, though.
It happens, you know. I always slip on the floors at school after they're waxed.
Okay, that's new, I guess. My god, the rotation of this is torturous, really. I say. Evidence list, you think? Well, I guess he did conceal half of it. So it could potentially be, maybe. Because that's the only piece of hidden evidence that we haven't brought up yet. In it. I guess we can try. Other than some, you know, psychic damage that we've taken, we have some health to mess around with. I don't remember when was the last time we saved, though. So let's go. It's fun watching you squirm, righto. This piece of evidence does indeed seem to contradict something. Your outward appearance of mental sanity. Good job, everyone. What am I doing? If this cloth was cut from prosecutor's marshal's vest after he died, then something's definitely not right about it. It's too late to turn back now. You know what it's not too late to do? Save now. While we still have health. Okay. You're the only one who can put an end to this, right? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold a piece of evidence that contradicts the cloth. That contradicts the cloth. Contradicts the cloth. Let's see that autopsy again, I guess. Single stab wound, piercing heart, lung. Die from blood loss in under 10 minutes. Upon found, the wound was missing tip. How could he have written the message? It was if he was hanging off the thing. Actually, have you considered that? Did he just kind of reach out to the shelf and then wrote it or something? That's a bit odd, I think. But I'm not sure if that's the right one. Is it really the evidence law? Here goes! No! It's fun watching you squirm. No, it's not. Hey Bunk, welcome to the stream. How are you holding up? Good to see you. What's up? Yeah. Spare me. It's my badge, of course. I'm good. How are you doing? Pretty good, actually. We are trying to wrap this thing up as we speak, and yeah, we gotta present the last piece of evidence before we die a terrible death. Could it actually be the urn? Nope. No, it's not. Oops. Our mental sanity is in shambles. What could it possibly be? Again, we tried presenting the picture already. Do we just shove this again?
The evidence for something, but what? Well, can't go back now to load. We'll just have to see the guilty thing. If we do, because I'm pretty sure we're going to mess up there again. Died from blood loss in under 10 minutes. Weapon found in body and wound was missing tip. Surely not the knife. Try the cloth. Nope, not it. Well, now we know which ones not to use. Sorry, Emma. You'll have to wait for a second till we load back in.
That's enough. This court sees no reason further to prolong this trial. The defense has failed to give the court sufficient reason to doubt the prosecutor's claim. This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana's guilty. Wah, wah. The accuser will surrender to the court immediately. Accused. To be held pending trial at a higher court with the month from today's date. That is all. The court is adjourned. Bye!
It's okay. I got this. It's not over yet. I have an ace up my sleeve. It's time travel. Behold the evidence. I feel like I gotta take a look at that photograph again. Why am I going the long way around? I don't know. Don't ask. Contradicts the cloth. Maybe because it's not covered in blood as it should be? There's just like a clean fingerprint on it? But she did push him onto the thing, I suppose. Though it's still surprisingly clean, isn't it? Did we show this picture already? Present? And what exactly is this supposed to be? I guess we didn't. This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. Again, you phrased it wrong. God damn it. See where the piece of the vest was cut out?
Yes, this shirt is showing... his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though.
Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth.
Oh, that piece of cloth? Wait, there's no blood on it!
Exactly. Ah! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she covered the prosecutor's... There's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time.
No! This is nonsense!
Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armor's sword. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name, her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece on the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Though the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. No! It's finally all over. That was close, Righto. You almost had me. He's sweating. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations.
What do you mean he refutes his allegations?
You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. This is when we slapped him with the duck book.
Order! Order! What nonsense is this?
Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Aji? Earlier, old writer here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Righto? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence.
At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be illegal evidence. But that's not fair!
Ha 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 ha!
Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son.
Duck, book, duck, book, duck, book. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct.
The judge didn't read the duck book? Truly a kangaroo court.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth?
True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal.
Well, Mr. Wright?
It seems, at last, the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived.
Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth?
It wasn't illegal. Shit, I gotta save again. Game, you make me way too paranoid, you know that? I did not! Oh, hi, Mark. I admit I refused to present it at one point. So the evidence is illegal.
Objection!
No, it isn't, Mr. Gant.
Huh?
It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Aji, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe.
Objection!
There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not?
Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present the evidence. If you can't provide your proof your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now.
Duck, book, duck, book!
Present.
Read it and weep. Noobs. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. Or is it a chicken, actually? I'm not sure. Either way, it's cute. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more.
What?
You see, it's written right here in this book, the second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Can you guys...
Objection!
Sorry, but can you recall when was that picture presented?
That was shown only a few moments ago.
No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of victim's vest.
Oh, yes! No!
It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant, the killer was you.
You should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me.
Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty.
He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman.
Detective Goodman.
Yeah, that's right.
If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me.
Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit.
He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence.
Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then, all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman?
Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered.
He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said,
"It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall."
Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. That accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out.
Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime.
Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake.
The bloody handprint.
On Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it.
Then you put the body in my car. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments and the glove. Yeah, it looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. You don't say. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Aji. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. Well, we're not friends anymore. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You're once a fine investigator and an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Aji. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Righto here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. Do you guys think you'll ever go swimming again? There are two things I want to understand. Yes. First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years, from the time I had Gant help me to forge evidence, up until today. So? It seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky, I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. Ads, oh no! What a time to have an ad! Well, nothing else to do but to hydrate, everyone. I know some of you've been slacking, you admit it in court. So, why don't you rectify it, huh? And I will be your shining example. Yes, hydrate. In this awkward silence. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Aww. We finally got a smile out of her. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few years. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It's nothing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, You rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth.
Stop it! I only did my job! In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining in order for all of us. Miss Sky,
Yes, Your Honor?
you are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as an accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains.
Judge, are you awake? Well, this trial has gone on for far too long already. Regarding the charge of the murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky,
Not guilty! Yippee!
That is all. This court is adjourned.
February 25th, 5:03 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended. I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh no. She didn't mention her. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too. But Lana didn't say a single word to me.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals! Nope. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. See you at the office.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
Got any more books to share, or... You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run all around while on duty? To top it all off, calling me here? I've been happier. I've seen happier people at funerals. Again, deja vu. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. There she is.
Lana!
Should you be doing this?
She's still under arrest, you know.
Well, I won't tell if you won't.
Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in this mess. Sis? I asked Kent to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now, I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself. But I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me! No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course! You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma. Aww. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in doing so, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on forward, towards a brighter future. At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe.
Me?
Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth?
Edgeworth?
Stop hiding and come over here.
Yes, ma'am. Where was he hiding?
I just came to say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right, well, I'll be going now. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth! Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right.
You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go at it alone.
I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on your own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright, and because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about.
Evidence, huh? Not this again. Shit, I'm going to show the wrong one. Aren't I? We fumbled Maya. Now we're going to fumble Edgeworth. One last save. Let's go.
Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own.
Was it the friendship that we made along the way? Where's that on the list? Was it the evidence list? A gumshoe helped.
Evidence law? Any guesses from the audience? This is a final choice, I would assume. What are we thinking? If we're wrong, we can always load back in and see what's the correct reaction might have been. If we'll figure out the correct one, that is. Or we might be correct on the first try. Also a possibility. Any thoughts? Well, the first part of the evidence he gave me, so maybe not it. Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. Well, we did find both of these on our own, so I guess not it. Crime scene photo? Neither of us found this. Evidence law? That might mean something to you, but I don't see how it had anything to do with our partnership. Huh? Mr. Wright, it seems you still have a lot to learn as well. Guilty! I guess that wasn't the right piece of evidence. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that needed wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know, it seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. I'd better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Nice! We get the sequel. Scientific Investigation! It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Hold up. Damn it, it's not in our inventory! Shit. Thanks, sis. I will. Wow. And so another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, though. Huh? What is it, Detective Gumshoe? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Did you break her out of there? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Bribe them with what? You're fucking broke. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective! I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here is the one who'll be footing the bill. Ah, of course. Huh? Huh? What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? 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 Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Objection!
I guess not. Well, there it is. I believe we are done. Or maybe not yet. I arranged for a friend of mine to do something. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top someone. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days as the prosecutor. Still, I'll manage to find my way back. Then I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Why are you going so fast? Well, who wants to look up what was the correct thing to show Edgeworth after we're done with the credits? Just to see the reaction and, you know, the actual correct answer. Yikes, I thought I was a gunner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalize you anymore, it'll be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. It just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easy. Well, it's good that he still has a job. How long will... We're going to be eating air and drinking it too? I don't know. Might have to ask Gumshoe. He's an expert by this point, with his salary. We'll be starving together. Oh, hello, Mickens. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of the evidence, I think. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to security guard. My partner keep an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them, though. Someday I'm going to make detective. Yes, sir. Then I can be just like that Dick Gumshoe. Just, you know, deafen us one more time for good measure. Blow that bloody megaphone. One more for the road. So guys, what did you think? Are we satisfied with the conclusion? Huh? Does the blue badger have something to say? Please, I need your wisdom. Oh, amazing mascot of infinite knowledge. Well, he's done. Poor thing. Searching for that thing? Well, it should be the very last thing that you can look up, I would imagine. Who's next? Oh, you. What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with the steak lunch partner? Mr. managed to sneak this in to me. She's seeing one of the guards. Well, cowboy, it looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? Sure. If I have access to them. Wanna give me a card or whatever? Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the right way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer's as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around here. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. What if I mix it? Then what? Thank you for localization, Mr. Bill Judd. And Brandon Gay and Kaori Funakoshi. Did I read that correctly? I'll never forget that young defense lawyer that said after the trial. What? Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I'd better be... Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel! Sorry, gotta go. Well... I don't know who that Mr. Left is, but it couldn't be us. Wasn't on wiki, had to find actual strategy guide. Well,
Did you find it? No, Mr. Left, the office is edgy. Right.
Ah! Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air.
I thought she screamed.
Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can go back until I'm a fully fledged spirit medium.
Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin.
Coming! Well, see you around, Nick.
So it was evidence list, for fuck's sake. I guess when we put one piece of evidence list and the other piece of evidence list, we have a one big evidence list together. Isn't that what friendship is all about? I guess that was their logic. Shit. I was thinking about it. You heard me. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, it's you. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I brought you your tea. What's going on? I hope we can skip through this, by the way. We present the evidence list once this is done. I want to discuss the game while the credits are rolling, but there's way too much going on here.
Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book.
Yes. Thank you for giving us another chance to examine the book. Show us a photo. Look at this photograph for one last time. Everyone, this is your chance to use the redeem in this context. And are they cute together? Ah. Yay!
Look at this photograph.
Yay! Ah, Europe, the country. Yep. The Europe. We're done. We're done. I cannot save, by the way, I don't think, from here on. But we can try loading in. Should we try loading in? I would assume this is definitely now the end of the game. So congratulations, everyone, we did it! What are your thoughts? I love this bloody game. Would I say that it's one of my favorites now that we went through it, the first one at the very least? It is really good. I do love the writing. It was a blast. Convoluted in some spots, but not the worst point-and-click logic out there, that's for damn sure. And thank goodness we've discovered that we can save in the middle of a trial. Because my god, I'm sorry I made you sit through all of that stuff earlier. In the earlier streams, I mean, of course. Awesome? Yes. So, that being said, I hope you're looking forward to whenever we return to the sequel. Again, not entirely sure when that's going to happen. Well, we're probably going to go by the same cadence that we do with the other series that we're currently playing through and have been for quite a while. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when the time is right. Sounds good? Of course. Well, good. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. So, for the grand finale, let us go and pick the correct choice. And for once, see what it actually looks like when you choose correctly. I knew it. Why didn't I do it? There you go. Take that.
That's the picture I drew.
Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list and I had the other. Apart, they wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture.
That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. That's it. Mr. Edgeworth! If you'll excuse me, there is still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. And... scene. Oh, title screen. J. Well, was it worth it? In gallery, I wonder. This gallery contains story spoilers. Press enter to choose to close this warning. That is fucking adorable. Our book? Well, are we brave enough to open the art book? Because we haven't seen everything yet. I don't know when the spoilers start. So maybe once we're done with the whole trilogy, perhaps. I'm a bit, you know, a bit afraid we don't spoil ourselves too much. So yes, that concludes Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney 1. Again, we'll see when we'll come back to this later on. Give or take a couple of months. Again, we'll feel it out. We'll see when our schedule clears out, rather. Cause on Tuesday, we'll be starting a new game. It's a game I know practically nothing about, but I stumbled upon it by chance and it looked very nice. So hopefully, everyone is going to enjoy it. It does look really nice. I do look forward to playing it just for that reason alone. And as usual, on Saturday, our next stream, we are going to once again go charting the Uncharted. We've left it at an interesting spot, really. Things are ramping up for many reasons, really. So hope you are excited to see what's coming next in that one as well. Other than that, thank you guys so very much for hanging out. Thank you for experiencing this game for the first time with me, and those of you who have already played it. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for not spoiling things. Really, really, really appreciate it. So yeah, take care of yourselves. Hope you have a lovely rest of the week and an even lovelier start of the weekend. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now!